What's up, everybody? Tata Gil here, back with another video. Chief Minister of North America for Febrai, Head Tata, I should say, of Casa de Kimbanda, Reino de Chucava Preta, the only certified temple of Kimbanda in North America. Now, today in this video, I'm going to be debunking some common myths and some fallacies, not only in Kimbanda, but also in spirituality in itself. Okay? So, first, let's start off. I can choose what Eshu or deity or demon I want to work with. False. There are exceptions to this. For example, instead of doing assentamento, we just do a basic cauldron where the Tata, who has authorization to work with those deities, spirits, or demons, Eshus, what have you, where he can consecrate one for you, but that will not be your personal Eshu. You see, your own Eshu, your own demons, your own spirits, your own deities, they come from your ancestral bloodline, and they come from your Ori directly. Okay, these are entities and forces that are here to help you with your mission set. Now, I know that there are a lot of mediums who say, well, I really don't want to work with, an example, Eshu Marabo. He's not the energy I want to work with. I want to work with Eshu Beelzebub. Or I want to work with Eshu Carniça. Doesn't work that way. We have to work with what you have. In fact, this directly leads into the next point. Number 2, I will be perfectly fine without spirituality. Now, you see, that is the case for a lot of ignorant folks, or folks that they don't know of their spiritual mission or their own spiritual path. In fact, multiple people don't even have a spiritual path per se, okay? With an exception, right? Now, when you know of your spiritual path, you can no longer be ignorant. Once you are told what you must follow, you can't no longer say, I'm not going to follow this, right? Now, something that I see a lot happen is when certain people's Eshus or their demons or their guides, what have you, they bring them to my temple and they say, well, Tata Gil, I really don't like that path though. I really don't want to do that. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm not going to argue, obviously. I'm never going to argue. I said, okay, this is the message from your Eshu. This is the message from your entities. Have it. Have at it, right? And that leads directly into the next point, is free will. Now, spiritual law, which is the basis for many religions out there, spiritual law is contingent on free will. You see, but a lot of people, they mistake free will from free of consequences. You see, if you help a person that's hungry, for example, and you buy them dinner, right? You got good consequences coming your way. That's good karma, because you're doing something out of the kindness of your heart. You're doing an act of kindness. Now, that same person, let's say they have $2 to their bank account, or $2 to their name, and you steal their $2. You're going to get bad consequences. And us being mediums and us even being priests, we are held to a higher standard than everyone else because we're supposed to be an example, right? That's why mediums like Antoine LaVey are such a bad example and such a damning example in spirituality. That's why I don't even consider the Satanic Temple a true spiritual temple, right? Spiritual temples aren't necessarily just Kimbanda or Umbanda or Candomblé, Santeria, Palo, 20 divisions. It's not any set particular religion. In fact, spirituality or spiritual religions are religions that have a heavy influence in the spiritual plane. For example, Catholicism, a sub-religion of Christianity. They may tell you, we're not spiritual, but yet they have statues galore. Statues for Saint Michael, Saint Peter,
In Portugal, they have Nossa Senhora de Conceição. There's a lot of different saints, right? And they worship these saints, bring offerings to these saints to appease them, right? So they work with the astral plane, you know? It's different if you're in a religion where all they do is preach and you don't have any communication with the astral plane, or you have no offerings to the astral plane, right? Now, one thing that I do want to mention that is very important to mention is that spirituality is not a cakewalk, right? You're going to be confronted with some truths that you don't want to be confronted with. Excuse me. One's path may not be the same as the next, right? But at the end of the day, if you follow what is told to you by your priest, it's supposed to be like butter. Your life is just supposed to just naturally go along. It's supposed to be like a river. You can't bend a river. In fact, the river has its bends, it has its curves, it has the ups, and it has the downs. But here's the thing, right? You can't try to force the river to change. You can't try to force the river to bend course. And that's what destiny is, right? Now, of course, I always say that in spirituality there are exceptions to everything, because at the end of the day, no one situation is to be like the next. And this is what brings me to the next topic, and that is, what exactly can I expect from working in spirituality? What forces can I work with? How do I figure out my forces? Well, I'm going to be speaking to you as, obviously, Chief Minister of North America for FEBRAE, which is a Brazilian organization that's tied to the Brazilian Federation that monitors and advocates for religion. In fact, we currently have around 168,000 members certified through FEBRAE. Now, that's not all priests. No. I want to say less than 5,000 of that is priests. And in Brazil, they fought heavily for spirituality, so much so is the founding of FEBRAE. And that's what I'm trying to do here in America. So I'm going to be speaking based on my temple, okay? Because there is no other temple that I trust here in America to guide people, right? Now, when you come into a temple, you're obviously guided here. It's not something that you just say, hey, one day I'm going to go to a temple. No, for you to go to a specific temple, especially my temple, you'll find that your entities and your spirits have a lot in common with our temple. In fact, you'll find that your entities, your deities, your guides, your ancestors, they all find my temple to be home. And that's crucial, right? Because at the end of the day, when I initiate you, you're my son or daughter. And what people get hung up on is, oh, wait a second. How can I complete my mission through Kimbanda, Tata Gil? And the answer is, it may not be through Kimbanda. In fact, I have the highest blessing of the deities of the Yoruba pantheon, Obatala, Shango, Ogun, and many others, including Egungun, Yorisha, the ancestors. I have many blessings, and the highest blessings of the kings of hell, and many other blessings from other kingdoms. I'm well prepared to take care of godchildren. In fact, there's never been a godchild that's come to me where I've said, hey, I can't take care of you. Sorry. Because that's not how it works. Usually it's, okay, if I need something that I can't service you with, I know who can. For example, if you have an issue with, let's say, your Yoruba pantheon, well, I go to my elders. And that's how it's supposed to be. Similar with Kimbanda. I really never have been stumped so much in Kimbanda as I have in Ifa. But if I need something in Kimbanda, I go to my elder. And that's something you won't find here in America, is these Kimbanda priests who are so-called Kimbanda priests, who are not actual Kimbanda priests. Nebrotician being one of them. You find that they have no roots. You ask, who's your priest? They don't have a priest. You ask for their certifications, which is super important to have, because it holds you responsible and holds you liable. They won't have it. But back to the topic with, hey, how am I going to work with you, Tata Gio, if, for example, I work with Poseidon? Now, Poseidon and the chiefs of this house, they want to work with you. How can they do that, though? Because there's no Poseidon in Kimbanda. There is a Shudamara. And with the highest blessings of all the chiefs of the house, as well as the highest blessings of those above Kimbanda, which in my lineage is Kimbanda Luciferiana, Poseidon can work in Kimbanda as Eshudumar. And that's what I find really beautiful about spirituality, is they will accommodate you. Why are they going to take you to a temple of Poseidon that doesn't exist in this planet? It may exist in a different galaxy, but you're not going to find a temple of Poseidon here on Earth. So what are they going to do? Basically say, you can't never work with Poseidon even though he's your strongest asset? They're never going to do that. Remember, spirituality is not ignorance. These are entities and deities who are here to help humanity. That's why I tell people, if a priest ever tells you, I don't care what your destiny is, you're not going to work with this entity, well, maybe it's time for you to take a step back and think about that priest. And think about if that priest is there to serve his own goals and motives, or if he's there to advance your goals and motives. Because unfortunately, what you will find 90% of the time are priests who only care about themselves. And they don't care about you. Which is sad. Because at the end of the day, I, as a priest, I've been working with spirituality for over 20 years. My family has been working with spirituality for over 900 years. I'm a 9th generation Data. My whole goal in this life, the reason why I came to be born in this earth, is to help you. The reason why your ancestors, the reason why your astral forces bring you to this temple here, is for me to guide you. How would I look saying, I don't care what you said, even though you brought him here or her here, I'm going to do what I want to do? That's not how spirituality works. And that brings me to the next myth. I can do what I want with spirituality. That is falsehood. In spirituality, you will learn many, many life lessons. And one of them is, you will not get what you want in life. That is just a falsehood. There are things that we as mediums need, and there are things that they provide for us. For example, I ask just for my family to be taken care of. I don't ask for millions. I don't ask to live in a mansion. I just want stability in my life so I can be in a place where I can help people. Because think of it like this. If a priest is not stable, think of it as a table missing a leg. How is that table going to be utilized if that table can't support its own weight? And that's what we have today in America, are a bunch of priests who are not prepared to work. A bunch of priests who claim to be priests because they went to Google or they watched YouTube videos. I'm sorry, you cannot be a priest by watching YouTube videos. I call out priests privately. I try talking to them because I get a lot of their godchildren coming to me and they're all messed up, but priests don't listen. This is why I am here today, pleading with the ones who want to follow a spiritual path. If you want to follow a spiritual path, come to me, okay? If you don't want to work with me, for some reason or the next, you want a different Kimbanda priest, come to me. I will guide you to one of the 5,000 Febrai priests there are. I don't know if it's 5,000 Kimbanda priests, but we have so many Kimbanda priests. I can even guide you to my own priest and my grandfather priest, being my priest's priest. If my priest was still alive, I would have guided you to him too. I have no qualms with that. All I want to do is to make sure that you are taken care of spiritually, that there is absolutely zero room for error in your spirituality. Because a lot of people, they spend 20 years, 30 years, 40 years wasted by fake priests. And then they come to me at 40, at 50, at 60, even at 70. Tata Gio, I wish I would have found you sooner. These priests, they do this, they do that, and they don't even tell me because I can see, I can hear. Matter of fact, with all due respect, excuse me. Here's what I'm gonna do to prove once and for all who I am. This here's an oracle of Eshu. And through this oracle, I'm allowed to work and have permission to work with not just Eshus, but any life form that is spiritual. And this is a right that was given to me by the 9 kings of hell, by my chiefs of my house, by the Yoruba deities, and everybody else. And this can be confirmed in any oracle that's of true spirituality. So here's what I'm going to do. And for those who know how to interpret shells, you'll know exactly what it is. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to call Lucifer, who is one of our chiefs. Ave Lucifer, Ave Lucifer, Ave. Hail the first king of the 9 infernal realms. Lord Lucifer, are you here? So if you can see, this just means yes, right? Are you the actual Lucifer, morning star? And no, because it's probably his minister, or it's probably somebody else that's here in his stead. So here's what I'm going to do. Are you one of his attendants? Yes, just like I said. Okay, so let's do this, right? Can Lucifer come forth? No. Is he busy? Yes. And this is how a oracle is supposed to work. You're supposed to conversate with them. Now, I can hear them. I can see them. But I want science. I want proof. So now I'm going to call our Minister of Defense. Lord Beelzebub, are you here? Ave Beelzebub, Ave Beelzebub, Ave. Hail Lord Beelzebub, 3rd king of the 9 infernal realms. Lord Beelzebub, I call you forth. Come forth and answer my wishes. Lord Beelzebub, are you here? Alafia. Lord Beelzebub, are you the actual Lord Beelzebub? Are you his minister? Are you his attendant? One of his generals? Asha. You see, you will never find this type of conversation with priests here in America because they don't know how to communicate. They don't know what they're communicating with. So here we go. Can you call Lord Beelzebub forth, please? Asha. Lord Beelzebub, come forth. Are you here? Asha. Are you the actual Lord Beelzebub? Asha. Lord Beelzebub, am I the only certified priest here in America? And then you ask broad questions. This is how we ask. Lord Beelzebub, am I the only certified data of Kimbanda in North America? There we go. What was the difference between the first question and the second question? Am I the only certified priest? Certified priest of what? Catholicism? No. Adventism? No. Buddhism? No. Shinto? No. But I just asked, am I the only certified priest of Kimbanda? And for those of you who know, 3 mean absolutely, right? Am I the chief of North America for high magic, Umbanda, Moloko, and Kimbanda? Asha. I'm the chief, confirmed by the oracle. Now, here's the thing, right? The reason why I pulled out the oracle was to show you. I have no qualms with showing who I am. I have no qualms with going before a real priest. Notice say real priest. And going before their oracle. In fact, there are people out there who they have their own oracles. Because I have priests who come to me too. And you can confirm and ask, is Tata Gil the one that's supposed to lead me? And they'll tell you the answer. Okay? Now, I want to tell you guys and leave this video off, my apologies, with this. Spirituality is a beautiful journey. Only if you're guided right. There are too many charlatans in this country, and even in Brazil and around the world, but North America specifically. There are too many charlatans that claim that they work with forces that they don't work with. And I'll tell you right now, and I'll throw down with any priest here in America. I'll come face to face with any priest here in America. And if you are a real priest, a real Tata of Kimbanda in America, and you're just not certified for one reason or the next, reach out to me, because I'll confirm with my oracle. And then I'll ship your packet off to Febrai, and the 16 ministers will confirm if you're real. And then the vice president, and then the president, because that's how it is. Everything is verification. You just can't say you're a priest, right?
Hey guys, Future Tata Gio here. Video got cut short because my phone died, but regardless, hope you guys have an awesome and blessed day. If you guys want to reach out to me, my WhatsApp will be in the description. If you want to book a reading with me, my Etsy will be in the description. If you guys want any spiritual services through me, you have to get a consultation first. I don't do jobs without consulting the oracle first, as it should be. And I don't do set prices for any ceremony I do, simply because each one is going to be different from the next. Every spiritual job is catered to you, as it should be. Hope you guys have a blessed day. If you guys need anything, reach out to me in the description. WhatsApp, TikTok, and Etsy shop are there. Hope you guys have a blessed day. May Lord Beelzebub bless you. May Baba Ogun bless you.